Welcome to another exciting edition of the Next Level TV program. And this is your regular host, Oscar Bimpong, in a driving seat, always taking you to your destination of success. What is the Next Level TV program about? If you are joining us for the first time, the Next Level TV program is full of inspiration, is full of career and talent development, personal development, creating budding entrepreneurs and an entrepreneurial spirit in people and for people to achieve their dreams in life. Today is also another powerful segment of the program, and as usual, what topic are we going to discuss? We are going to discuss banking, economic downturn, and financial accessibility, and who is in the hot seat to really help us to diagnose this topic. He is in the person of Mr. Charles Osei, who is a banking consultant. Please welcome to the Next Level TV program.
Thank you, Oscar. Thanks for having me here.
It's been a long time.
I know, from the last time we had the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's back in
Happy
the days.
to be back, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The good ones always come back,
yeah.
You know. And you are my banking consultant as well, because
yes.
I do come to the bank for me to really look at my financial, prospect.
Yeah.
And things have changed over the years.
Yeah, a lot.
But before we go on to what we want to discuss, we always start the show with a motivational quote of the day, and our motivational quote of the day is by Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is one of the American founding fathers, the principal author of Declaration of Independence, and the third president of the United States. What did he say? He says, "I believe banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies."
Wow.
This is very straightforward and powerful. Does it mean that the banks are doing some damage to our society?
No way, I wouldn't say that. I said we do need banks, so I wouldn't say it's doing damage. I don't know, I think it's how people see it, but personally I think bank is doing good for
the society.
I think so, definitely.
But things have changed over the years.
Yeah.
What was the cause of the changes, especially since 2008? There has been so much changes to the banking institution.
Well, from obviously what you saw back in 2000, I think 2008
after the economic downturn.
Yeah, I think it's late 2007.
Yeah, late 2007.
When all the crash started happening and stuff. But then obviously from that they had to learn and change things to prevent things what happened from happening again. So there's been a lot of changes, and just because of what happened, they don't want that to repeat.
So that has brought about a lot of changes.
You make it tighter and just cover the banks, basically.
Have these changes affected people personally?
I wouldn't say personally. People affect people, but it just affected the way people do things. So whilst it was so much easier to get things from back in the day, it's a bit tighter now. So now you need to have that proof to get something. It's not easy. You know, before you can just walk into a bank and open an account. It's not that straightforward anymore. Mm-hmm. There's checks and things that they do to make sure that you can actually use it and maintain an account. So they won't just give it to anyone. You have to make sure you can, because if they do what they was doing before and just give an account to everyone like they were doing, the crash can happen again, wasn't it? So yeah. So
it has really. Have you seen any differences in terms of people coming to the banks, coming to assess things in terms of credit, in terms of all those things?
Definitely, it's gone tighter. As I said, say like back in the day, you can just go into a bank and apply for a loan, and I'm working, I've got income. Fine, the bank will accept that and do it, but now it won't be like that. You need to prove your work, you need to prove your income to be able to get the loan that you need. Well, before it wasn't that strict, but now it's more stricter to get that. And I think it's good for the bank, and it's good for the person as well, because if the bank gives you a loan, obviously when you want a loan, you want it. You don't care how you pay, because you want to buy your car, whatever you want. So you do anything to get it. But then if the bank gives you the loan and you can't pay it back, it destroy you as a person as well. So it's good for the person and it's good for the bank, I guess.
That's really a great point,
Yeah, I
you know.
suppose, yeah.
But I think people are always looking at it from the perspective of the banks, not forgetting themselves that
Themselves
in
as
one
well.
way or the other it's
Exactly,
helping them as
exactly.
well.
See, if I give you money, I lend you money, and you can't pay it back to me, I'll be on your door every single day to get money back, and what's that going to do to you? So it's both ways. So it's, I don't know, people need to see it both ways, not just the banks being strict or being hard on people, but it's just...
But that's an eye-opener, because what I'm saying that more of the blame goes to the banks, not forgetting about the people, that one way or the other, the changes is also helping them, for them to make the right decisions.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
So probably, let's say before, if it's easier to go for a loan for 10,000 just because you are working, now they will say, listen, because of your income, you are getting just 2,000.
Exactly.
Because that is more affordable.
Affordable for you as a person, yeah.
So that's a really big difference then.
A lot of difference, And I think people will get to understand as time goes on, but it just takes a while with everything, isn't it? For them to actually realize why the banks are doing what they're doing.
Nowadays, to open a bank account,
it's
like passing through the immigration.
I wasn't saying that.
Yeah, because there's so much checks. You have to bring this, you have to bring that, you have to bring that, you have to proof of address. There's so much into just opening a simple bank account. Don't you think the banks are taking things a bit too far?
That's what I'm saying. I would say there's both two sides to that story there. The banks do that to protect themselves, and obviously to protect the person as well. To open an account, you need all that proof, because people always trying to break the law. Obviously, the law is to open an account for yourself, but then you get people trying to open an account for someone else in people's name, or use the account for something that they're not meant to. So obviously, to protect that with the bank, or stop that from happening, that's why you have to bring all of that in, to make sure that if you're opening an account, it's for you, not for anyone else, and to prove that you are you and you live at that address. That's why you're required to bring all of that in. Imagine if the bank didn't request all of that for you to open an account. Anyone can just pretend to be someone in
open an account. You know,
it's both ways. I don't know, you need to see it both ways. And sometimes, because it's so hard, the innocent people suffer as well, because it might be a genuine person, just like he doesn't have any ID, but you can't do it because someone else is making it harder for the person.
Someone has abused the system,
basically.
So someone is being punished for that.
And I know that's not fair, but what can you do?
Because to be honest, if you are from the perspective of you, the person as a client, going to the bank to open an account, just a simple account, but all they do is go and bring that and that one and that one and that one, and sometimes it puts a stress on your life. You ask yourself, this is just a simple bank account. That's why I'm saying it looks like you are passing through the immigration these days, because there's so much things they check these days. Before, even your work can just give you a letter, you open a bank account that you are working, you know. But these days you need to have a passport and ID,
and it's all that's what I'm saying, it's all on how people use the system. The bank doesn't just wake up in the morning and go, right, let's make it tighter for people. When you open an account, bring this in. It doesn't. They learn from experience, they learn from what's happening, and then they bring this rule out. If nothing was happening, everything was still genuine like it is, they wouldn't do that, would they? If someone comes in, look, example, say someone comes to your house, right? Say like, when you go out, say you're coming here, you leave your door unlocked, right? And where you live is secure and it's genuine, like no one will actually go into your house. You won't lock your door, would you? You just come out, you come work and know that everything is fine. But then, if someone goes in your house and steals your stuff, next time, what would you do? You will lock your door, wouldn't you? To make sure that doesn't happen again. So it's basically, it's all... and then obviously, when you get credit, when you get a bank account as well, or it's not just a bank account, you know, it comes with facilities like overdraft and things like that. And obviously, to make sure you can actually manage your overdraft, so they have to make sure that you are, because overdraft is borrowing. So bank accounts come with borrowing, sort of lending.
I think we will come to that. Now, there are so many bank accounts that you can have, right? But depending on the country you come from and all that, banking system differs a little bit, depending on the office. In general terms, especially from the UK perspective, what are some of the bank accounts that the banks have in general terms?
all the banks offer different accounts, and all the banks, the accounts are designed to suit a person. So whichever account is right for you, that's what you go for. Because the banks are not allowed. Well, I don't really advise people this account is right for you. They give you all the different accounts. So you, as a person, individual, go through all the different ones and choose the one that's best for you. Some account comes with like travel insurance, AA cover, roadside assistant and all of that stuff. So if you're paying for all of that and you can have one all in one that is cheaper, obviously you go for that. So there's all different accounts for everyone, and you've got like a basic account as well for some people that don't have credit, so they can also have an account as well. So there's loads of different accounts for everyone.
You know, when you hear a bank in today's market, what the one thing that comes into your mind is charges.
Wow. Yeah.
Is it the right thing? I know you are there to make money.
Yeah.
But I believe the charges are too much.
Right. The charges side of that is basically, as you said, the bank gonna make money, and if they lend you, they go obviously charge you for it.
Yeah.
But then it's all changed with the regulation and things that before they never. Some banks charge you interest, and some banks charge you fees for using it. So you, the person, need to know which one is right for you, because say if you use your overdraft all the time, right, and you're paying like say £5 a month to use overdraft a month, because you know that by the end of the month you've used it, so the £5 a month is enough for you to, it's alright for you to pay, you go for that. Or if you don't use the overdraft, like if every night and then you dip into it and there's an account that charges you interest to use it, that might be the right one for you. So it's true, they charge you the fees, but you as a person need to look at all the banks and look at the one that's right for you, because the one that might charge you fee might not be the right one for you. So you need to kind of just compare it and choose the best one for you, because you can't avoid the charges. The bank will charge you, so you need to do your research and find a better one that suits you.
So it means that people need to sit down and really understand what they are going in for.
I guess everything that you do, like everything, you need to kind of compare. That's why there's loads of comparison tools at the moment.
Yeah, comparison tools. Yeah,
you need to obviously make use of that, because it's really helpful.
Yeah,
to find the best one.
So it's just a matter of you asking the right questions.
Basically, yeah.
But people think the bank should rather tell them.
They do tell people. They do, because it's the law. It's a regulation that obviously if I'm charging you, I need to tell you how much I'm going to charge you. But people tend not to read it, or not tend to listen. You need to read what you're signing in for. I can't stress enough, like if you're getting a loan or credit card or bank account, you need to read the terms and conditions, because if you don't read that, you're going to be surprised with your charges. So you need to know what you're going in for. That's what I say.
Are we that lazy? Because we don't read it.
Most people don't. Most people go, all right, and sign it. But
I, for instance, I don't read it.
Exactly.
Probably you are more interested in what they are giving you more than...
Exactly. So you need to read what you're signing for. Then you know the charges, what you're getting yourself into. Because once you start using it, you're going to charge you.
You have put yourself
exactly.
in it already, and it's difficult to even come out.
Exactly, you're in there already.
Is it possible to avoid these charges?
Don't use it.
Don't use it.
Yeah. But then from day to day, all the different banks offer incentive. So you need to obviously look at the deals, what's happening, because some gives you like a 1 year interest free or a couple of months interest free. So you need to make use of that, because then you can avoid saving money for that months.
You know, in terms of these charges and interest and all that, right? Now, credit cards is one of the banking facilities that is killing people, especially in Europe and America, right?
Right, yeah.
How does the credit card system works? If you can just give us a brief overview.
Oh, well, credit card is basically you're given a limit, a credit. So it's like you're given a credit. So you're given like £1,000 credit to spend. So once you spend it, they give you like a couple of months, well, a month. They give you a time to pay it back. So if you pay it back before the time is up, you don't pay any interest. But if you wait for them to send you out the statement, then the interest is added to it. So you pay interest plus what you spend. But what is going, I can't say it's going wrong, but obviously times are hard and people need to survive. So if they use all their savings or use all the money they have, they turn to the credit card.
Yeah.
But then they need to be sensible, because then they need to, if you're going to use, what I would say, if you're going to use your credit card, right, you need to use it for something that is really, really important. You don't use credit card to buy clothes and shopping, things that you can deal without. You need to use the things that you really need, because when it comes to paying back, it's not easy. Like,
how is the interest rate like?
I can't, it's different for everyone.
It's different, but basically, how does it work? Because it looks like the interest rate is too high on the credit cards.
It all depends. It all depends. It goes back to you doing your research. So if you're going to compare website, that gives you the credit card company that's doing the deal. So you can get the cheaper deal or a high interest. Not all credit cards are high interest. Some are very low, but you need to kind of compare and see. Because most credit cards these days gives you like a 2 years interest free. If you look well, they do like 24 months interest free. So for that 24 months, you're paying nothing, which is very good. Or even if you got a balance, you can transfer that into another credit card that is offering you interest free. So you save the interest. You just focus on paying back what you spend, and then by the time in 24 months you will have paid something back. So the interest will be lower than what you're paying.
Banking,
right,
is a really huge topic to discuss.
It is,
you know,
massive.
You know, when you look at another facility, I would like us to talk about is overdraft.
Okay.
Right. Now it's one of the easy, accessible facilities.
Right.
Especially when you are working, they can easily give you an overdraft. Right.
Right. Yeah.
How does the overdraft system works? Because I'm trying to touch on basic issues that affects a lot of people. When you look at credit card, it affects a lot of people. When you look at overdraft, it affects a lot of people, right? How does the overdraft system works? Yeah,
overdraft basically when it's a facility on a current account. So they give you your current account and they give you like an overdraft. So a limit on there, say like £1,000. So £1,000 is there. It's like credit card. It works like credit card overdraft, but with overdraft. With credit card, current account overdrafts, once your salary goes in there or once your money goes in there, whatever you've used on overdraft, it takes it back, and obviously you can use it again. So it's kind of revolving credit sort of thing.
It's like a recycling.
Yes, you call it revolving credit. So
revolving credit, yeah.
Yeah, so you spend, you use it, you spend, you use it. Sometimes some bank charge you for using it, some doesn't. Some charge you interest, some charge you a fee, some charge you like a monthly fee for using it as well. So if I use overdraft and I know that obviously my salary is not enough and I'm going to need overdraft, I'll find a bank that's in the best deal on that. So I will say, because I want to just go to any bank and just open an account because it's a bank, because their charges on overdraft might be so much for me, so I'll just look around and find a better deal.
But do you know what the obvious thing that comes into your mind, for instance, if you are going for an overdraft or a credit card, is to look at the bank that you are banking with?
It's true.
So people don't really go into that. I want to do that research.
It's true, because then people say, "Oh, I've been banking with this bank for how many years? So I just want to leave it." If it works for you, fine. Because then you stay there and pay all that. Because you need to ask yourself, what are the bank doing for you? What are they offering you? You need to ask yourself that question. Are they giving me a good deal? If they are and you're happy with it, fair enough. But if not, then there's other banks. That's why there's loads of different banks. So and they're all very, very competitive. So you need to find the one that's best for you.
So these days it's about reading.
It's like, I want to say reading, but with everything that you do, you need to do your reading. Like when you're buying a house, right? You don't just look at a house and go, "Oh, this is a house for me," would you? You look at different ones and choose which one is best. Basically, it's
the same scenario.
Something like that. Yeah. You don't be lazy. Get out there.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like we are a bit lazy.
Yeah,
we don't really.
We're comfortable.
We are comfortable about, you know. Yeah.
We're comfortable with our banks.
I don't know whether it's the system that is making us or we ourselves.
And sometimes you can't blame people though, because obviously you get comfortable and you're like, "Oh yeah, whatever, I'll pay it," and then you just kind of live with it, and then you spend all your life paying charges, but you could be saving money.
That's really a good point. That's really a good point. Now, all these charges we're talking about, right? If you are not able to pay them, then there are consequences.
Right.
And these consequences can be really dangerous.
Yes.
Especially, it can be lifetime.
Yes.
In terms of what they call your credit history and all that. How difficult is that? Because sometimes people can be sick People can lose their jobs, and before they realize, they are not able to pay back these things that the banks are really.
I guess that's life. It happens, you know. People don't plan to get ill, or people don't plan to die, or you don't plan for these things to happen.
Or lose your job,
yeah,
and
you
all
don't.
that.
You obviously you wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm going to lose my job tomorrow, and I'm going to use all my money." It happens, but then that's when you can. You obviously they always call rainy day savings every month. Well, if you can put something away every month, try and do that, because when it comes to that time, that will be there to help you. You see, so that's why the banks encourage people to save. Like with the ISIS, you know, with the government, the government keep raising the limit. It's tax free. So if you can, every penny that you put away will come to use when the time comes. So you just encourage people to save, and wherever you can. So just stop spending. Like the society, we just like spending shoes, clothes, cars. It's good, but if you can put something away, it'll be good for you.
If people are not able to pay the charges, right, their credit history is affected. Does it mean that they cannot overrule that and make their credit history good over time?
It can happen, because your credit doesn't go bad forever. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it's 6 years. If you go into a default stage on a credit file for 6 years, you won't be able to get any credit. But after that, when it goes off it, then it starts again. You start build up credit again. But it's there to protect the person, to protect the bank as well. Because if you can't be trusted with money, no, it's like, I don't know how to say, like, exactly. It's like you come to me, you tell me, "Oh, Charles, give me £100," and I give you £100. So, "Oh, you give it back to me in 2 months, right? Come 2 months. Oscar, where's my money? Oh, Charles, I don't have it. Okay. 2 months later, I come to me, Charles, can I borrow another £100? Will I give it to you?"
No.
Basically, it's that. it's basically that. So then you need to kind of get back trusted that you can actually pay back, and then once it goes back to normal, then they start lending you again.
That is a really hard way, because if you breach your trust.
Exactly, and it just, you know, people tend to think, "Oh, the bank is punishing me for something," but the people themselves give your money, lend money to your friend or your family, and not them pay it back, and let them come back to you again. See if you give them money again. But then again, you can't. Everyone's circumstances is different, because someone might be in that trouble because they lost their job and they couldn't help it, and they can't do nothing about it. Those people, it's not fair on them, because there's nothing that they can actually do.
Exactly, at the moment,
yeah, there's nothing they can do. But I think with that, there's things in place for people like that, like the Citizens Advice Bureau. They help people like that, so you need to find help. So you can't just, so when you lost your job, and obviously income is not coming in, you need to seek help. You just don't rely on credit card and loans and things like that, because that will drag you down. Just go to these, they are all, and I think banks as well got department that helps people in financial difficulties to set up plans and that to help them to come out of it. So you don't, obviously you need to ask for the help, I would say, because those people, there's nothing that they can do. They've lost their job, or they lost their partner. They ain't got no income coming in, you see. And it's not their fault, it just happened. But there are helps out there for people like that.
Yeah, but basically, for your credit history, there's nothing you can do about it. It will go on the system.
No, that's what I'm saying. So if that happens, obviously you go to like Citizens Advice Bureau and things like that. There's things in place for people like that. They've got systems
in place
for
to really help
people like that. Because the last resort is going to affecting your credit. I think they try help, do everything they can before it goes
over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a way around it.
There's a way around it. I'm saying banks have got departments that help people in financial difficulties. You don't just turn their backs and you're like, "Oh, you own us, so go." No, they try to help the situation. They set up plans. So if you've used all your overdraft and obviously you're not working, you're like benefit to get some income, the bank wouldn't take all of that. They'll have plans to, so every month you pay something back to pay back the overdraft.
At least, no matter how small it is, just to show some level of commitment.
Basically, till you finish paying it. So it's not completely like, "Oh, goodbye, your credit's done."
Well, I think that's a very great point that people need to notice, because I've met people that they think it's over because they lost their job. And you know, in since 2008, a lot of people have been
I've lost their job,
lost their jobs.
And obviously, they're not all of them are in bad credit and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's always a way around it, as you are saying.
I'll just say I would seek help.
Yes. Exactly. Now, cost of living is so high, right? Everything is going up. Wages are staying at a standstill. So now, basically, things are hard, right? I can tell you a lot of families today are struggling.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you are sitting at the bank week in, week out, and you know the kind of stories that you hear.
Yeah.
Right? Are people meeting their financial needs in today's market? From your general perspective.
I would say things are hard. The things are hard. Like, not just being in the bank, or just in general, everything, because it's so expensive these days, and obviously salary is still the same as it is. So I'll say things are very, very hard at the moment. It's not easy at all. Like, the people are struggling. I would say, yeah.
So as you are saying, the banks still have systems in place to help struggling people, like families and all that.
Definitely. Or if even at the bank, the Citizen Advice Bureau, they're very good. They help. Do you ever watch this show on BBC One?
I think, is it the new show which is about benefit systems?
Yeah. And they show how actually people can get so much help, but they don't know. Like, there's so much help out there. There's charities and things that can help people that they don't know of. So I think when you're in that situation, you just seek for help, because there will be something out there for you. Because some people are claiming benefit, but they could claim more, but they don't know they can, and they just sit there. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to benefit, so just kind of. But just go out there for help. There are things in place for people.
Now, what is credit search?
Okay. Right, credit search is basically, it's Experian basically. It's like a company like Experian or Equifax or there's another one. There's another company.
I think there are 3 of them.
Yeah. They basically, what they do, they hide information on some people's credit. So from all your lending you've done in the past, how you paid it back, and your current commitments and things like that, they hold all on there. So the bank use that to decide whether to give you a loan, credit card, or anything, something like that. So if you're going to a bank for a mortgage, they will contact Experian and check up on you, how you are. So how you are paying things back, and what you've got on your credit, so loans and credit cards and things like that. And that will they'll make the decision on what to lend you. Like before, the bank never used to do that. They used to be, when you want a loan, you go in the bank, you see the bank manager, and then they will sit down, and the bank manager will do all the underwriting and make sure that you are right for the loan. But now they've taken all that away. It's all computerized. That's the credit search for it.
That makes it difficult.
The computer decides. So if the computer says no, then there's no way back there. No, I'm joking. If computer, sometimes errors do happen with the credit system. So you might have a default that's not your fault, but it's not cleared off. So with that, it'll get referred, and then an actual person will do the underwriting and make sure that it's not you, and then it will be passed.
So now the banks are using those credit search companies
to make
decisions.
Yeah.
And these are accurate decisions, so it makes things difficult.
I say it is accurate to a limit, but I don't know. There was another show about these credit companies on TV a couple of months ago, and everyone was talking about how they don't trust them. I didn't even see it, so I don't know why they didn't trust. But from what I know, they heard information on people. I go there and check my credit, and then basically had everything on me, everything I've done, even like. Things like getting car insurance, they do search. I didn't even know they do. On my credit file, it shows on there that all the companies. I was online doing the comparison to get insurance, and every company that I decided to go with, it will do a credit search. I didn't even know this, and it all shows on my credit file that I've been searching. But then be careful, because the more you search, the more it have an impact on you, because it's like you're credit hungry. So it's like you're going for every place trying to get money. So it can affect you. So you need to be careful.
It means that you are desperate
for money, basically.
For money,
and it looks because you're like credit hungry, they call it.
So that's not good for you.
No, not say like in 6 months you can't. If you search, it will show up on you like, oh, it will be like flagged. This person
It's always searching
to get credit.
To get credit.
Yeah.
Wow, this is from a different angle.
Yeah, it does affect people in that. If you keep searching, you need to. Once every 6 months, it's not. But if you constant, so you see, like you go to Barclays to get a loan,
Yeah.
they decline it. You go to NatWest, they decline it. You go to Halifax, they decline it. You go to Santander, they decline it. All of that is search on your credit file. So if you come to the third bank, RBS,
Yeah.
they'll be like, look,
This guy, it means
Yeah.
that the person is credit hungry.
yeah, you've
So-
done all of that. Oh, you got loans for all that company, and you are here. So they'll be like,
So it's always advisable you go for one. If it doesn't work, you
just
stay,
take time, not straight away,
go for
Yeah.
another one.
because that can have an impact.
I think we have got a lot of things to learn and know
It
as
is,
well.
it is,
Yeah,
it
because
is,
some
it
of the
is.
things it takes consultants like you to really
Yeah.
bring it up for people to understand actually what is happening. You know. Now, credit search and credit history, they work together, right?
Yeah, so the credit search, basically that you search. So when you're doing something, it's search to make sure that you got history. But the history is the data is collected from all the searches that you've done and what you've got. So all the loans, credit card, bank account, contract, phone, insurance, all be on there. And then obviously, have you ever had a print of your file, a credit file before? Because it shows you, and it shows it's green, everything
Yeah,
that you
green,
paid,
yeah.
and the ones that you missed
It's
is red.
red, yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that's the history.
Exactly.
So obviously, once
and
you
I
see
think
that,
they give you a percentage of.
they give you a rating as well.
Yeah, in terms of like
How good you
yeah,
are.
how good you are. So probably
Example, I'll share my credit because when I checked mine, it was very good. But as I was saying to you, when I was doing this car insurance thing, I didn't know that car insurance search your credit. So all the car insurance I've done has searched me, and my credit was excellent, but they had a red flag on there that I've been searched. So when I rang them up and it goes, oh, I've been trying to be doing comparison online. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to find the best deal for my car insurance. Because, well, they've all been searching you, so you need to watch that. Because all of that was showing on my file that I'm like, what car insurance? I was like, car insurance? Like, I didn't even know that can affect you like that.
so in the same terms, that means it looks like you are desperate to get a good deal. But is that bad?
I don't know, but it was on my credit file that I've been searching so much, and it was literally because I was applying to apply for something and it got referred, and they asked me to bring my credit file to see what's the problem. So when I brought it and goes, oh, actually it's insurance, so it's nothing, we can override that. So they picked it up that I've been searched so much, so they override that. But that was a new experience for me.
Exactly. So the credit history can also be searched on the credit search database.
No, the credit history is the data that is collected from all the time. The search is every single time. Yeah. What you do is to search, but the history is what you've got, like bank account, bank account, credit card, loan, contract, phone, everything. So like utility bills as well. So you see if you miss your water bill and all of that, that will be on there.
What are the significance of a good and a bad credit history?
Obviously, good credit. If you've got good credit, it means you can get things. So it'll be easier for you to get a loan. It'll be easier for you to get a bank account. You'll to get a credit card and things like that. And if you've got bad credit, it's hard. You might get it, but you might get it at a higher interest. So it's not.
So if you have a bad credit, you can have a higher interest on things that.
Yeah, that's you get something, but it might be the interest might be higher than the person with good interest, good credit. Because obviously you're not trusted as share. So
in quotes, people.
Yeah, so you pay slightly higher. So if anything happens, the company doesn't lose out. So they've got the money. So say if you default, they haven't lost 100%. So your credit's slightly higher than the person with.
We are going to go for a commercial break, and I'm really enjoying this because there is so much insight into our banking systems today, and what we are discussing cuts across every continent, because banking is basically the same. It's just that depending on the region that you are, there are a bit of differences. And I guess what, there's so much that I'm learning here. We are going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are going to continue our discussion. Please don't change the dial. Welcome back to the Next Level TV program, and as usual, this is your regular host Oscar Bimpong in the driving seat, taking you to your destination of success. What a wonderful discussion that we are having here on the topic banking, economic downturn, and financial accessibility. Now things have changed after late 2007 to 2008, when the credit crunch came into the system. There is a whole lot that have changed. Banking have changed the way they do their things, and people have to adapt to these changes. But there's always a way around in life when challenges comes across. And that is why I have with me a banking consultant who knows the in and out of how the banks work, and he is in the person of Mr. Charles Ose. He is in the studio of Zip TV. Please welcome back.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's been very good. Learning a lot for myself as well, because I'm saying for actually, yeah.
Because nowadays it's more of education.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we all got to learn from each other.
Yeah, and we live in the information age.
Yeah.
These days it's not about how hard you work, but it's the information that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes the difference.
Yeah.
Some people look for the right informations and they get the right results.
Yeah.
But others go all over the place, and before they realize, they are still where they are. So information is very vital in today's market.
Yeah.
Now back to business. How can one boost his credit?
As I said before, to obviously get your credit back up, I would say basically just don't, obviously, if you get search and it doesn't work out, don't keep going. Just let it settle down a little bit. Wait for a couple of months. Make sure and then obviously will go back up. And then if you having credit card helps, having credit card and obviously spending on it, but eventually when you spend on it, you pay it back. You don't spend on it, and then obviously if you spend on it and you don't pay it back and then go through default, then your credit is gonna go back. But when you spend, you pay. Because even buying petrol, you can buy petrol. Even if you've got the money, you pay on your credit card, you pay back on, pay it back, and that gradually will build back your credit and make you go back to where you were if anything's happened.
Now, let's say I go for a banking facility, and I didn't get that facility, right? Do the banks give me the reason why?
Say, give me.
For example, I'll go for a credit card
Right.
for instance, in Halifax.
Yeah.
And I'm told, listen, you are not successful.
Yeah.
Do the bank tells you why you are not successful?
They do. They will give you a reason, and then they will obviously ask you to look at your credit, and the credit will tell you why it wasn't eligible to you at the moment. But I think your credit history experience actually tells you what company will give you a credit card. If you check your credit, it tells you. So if they're saying you can get it with Santander, why would you go to Halifax? If you
So if you get the reason why you weren't offered that facility, then you need to work on that. Basically, is that right?
Yeah. They always give you reasons. They don't say to you, oh, it's declined, goodbye. They give you a decline because of this. But this is what you need to do to be able to get it. It's always like that, especially with loans. When you go for a loan with a bank and it declined, they tell you, we declined the loan for this reason, but if you do this and this and this and this, you'll be able to get it in 3 months.
Loans is one of the things that everybody is looking for. For one or two reasons. Either to buy a house, a car, it's all about loans today, right? What are the criteria? What steps should people take when they are going for loans?
Most of the banks these days, to get a loan, they always ask you to have a bank account with them. Okay, so you need to, obviously, before you do that, you need to learn the criteria. So you need to be banking for 3 months, 4 months, whatever. You need to meet that. And obviously, they want you to fund their account with salary as well. So if your salary is coming into the account, they know you're a worker, so you've got that history about you already. So before, even most of the banks as well, before you actually come, they know if you can get a loan or not because of how you run your current account. That can determine if they can give you a loan. So on your system, it will show that this customer is banking for this year's, he's been paying salary this a month into the account, so that we can give him this loan. So they know already. So before you can check if you're eligible or not before you actually apply for it, because if you don't check and you apply for it, it declines, it goes on your credit file, which might prevent you from borrowing.
So if I'm banking with Halifax, you are saying in today's market it's difficult to get a loan from NatWest, for example, if I don't bank with NatWest.
It might be, I wouldn't say 100%, because every bank is different, but some banks, to get a loan with them, you need to be banking with them at least for certain months. So you need to check that criteria, that you meet that first. Because NatWest must say you have to be banking for us 1 month, and Santander might say for 2 months, and Halifax must say for 3 months. So you need to check. So basically, most of the time when you want a loan, you go to the bank that you bank with, because they are more likely to give it to you than a bank that doesn't know anything about you.
Now, somebody can go for a loan and he can just get £50,000. Another person can go for a loan and all you can offer is like a £2,000.
Okay.
What are the reasons for this big disparity?
I think that's quite easy actually. It all depends on your salary. So if you are getting 100,000 a year and you want 50,000, they'll give it to you. You're more likely to get it because you can prove affordability, that you can afford and pay it back. And if your income is 20k a year, how are you gonna pay 50,000 loan with salary of 20k? Yeah, it will depends on your affordability and commitment. So what you've got at the present as well. So if you're going for a loan and you've got a car loan, you're gonna take into account that you're gonna be paying 200 every month for this car loan. Say your salary is £1,000, right? You're gonna pay 200 of that into your car loan, and then you're gonna pay another 200 to this new loan. You got rent to pay, you got all that. They look at all of that and make that decision on how much we can give you.
So nowadays it's like they take all your commitments together and see what is left before they give you.
And it's good for you, because if they don't, you're going to be the one going to be struggle.
I remember I was I called a bank to check whether I can get a loan, and they said we want to do an affordability test.
Yeah.
So what is that affordability test? Because that is not even the credit search.
The affordability, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Your credit might be 100% excellent, but they still decline your loan on affordability because you can't afford it because you've got too much commitment. And then it comes to you being overcommitted. So if you got, say if you got your income is £1,000 a month, right? Your rent is 500, your shopping and everything is 200. Then you got £300 to live on, and that £300 you're gonna pay 200 of that to a loan. You got £100 to live on in a month. Would that be able to survive? You survive through. You got your car, you got your food, your
mortgage, all of those things over there. Yeah, but I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that the affordability is not even the credit search.
Yeah, I'm saying
that is just the first step to either let you know whether
or not. I'm saying loan can decline on to loads of different reasons. One of them being affordability, because you can have the best credit ever. Your credit score might be excellent, but still can decline because you can't afford it.
Wow. So it's not just about
your
having
credit,
your credit history.
No, because it is true.
So it boils down to more about your commitment.
That they look at so many different things. Affordability is a major part to make sure that you can afford it. Because I'm saying, you think about it. If your salary is 1,000 and you have to pay, you got children, you got all of that, and you're going to be paying that to a loan, can you really afford it?
That's really a great point. That's really a great point.
It's to protect the bank, obviously, from losing their money, and it protects you from killing your credit. Because then if you take the money and you can't pay it, but you will have to pay it back. They will chase you down to get the money somehow. But then to prevent that from happening, they do that to actually, yeah, you can afford it, or no, you can't. Or you can afford 20, not 50.
A lot of people are a bit emotional when it comes to going for loans, or meeting some financial needs that is very pressing. And you meet people in the office who cry and all that, that because maybe a loan was declined and all that. What professional advice do you give to those people?
You cuddle them.
You cuddle them.
No, it's not. Obviously, it's sad if someone can't get what they want, but you need to explain. You need to give them a reason why. It's not. I'm saying it's not like, oh, the loan is declined, so get out. No, the loan is declined because this. But if you do this, you can get it in 3 months, or you can get it in 3 months. That's the procedure. You don't just say no, you can't get it. No, it's not like that. You need to. There's always a reason why the loan is declined. You don't just decline it because they will feel like it. There's a reason why they've declined it. So they need to. You need to give a reason.
Is Money Supermarket linked to banking?
No.
It's not linked to banking.
No, it's just like a comparison website. That basically find you the best deal. It's like Money Supermarket is like a broker. So if you want a mortgage, you go to a broker. The broker will search all the banks and find a cheaper deal for you. It's basically like that. It's independent.
Now on savings, are people able to save in today's market? Because the government is trying to encourage people to save with this ISIS and all that. But you, from the people, the clients that you meet, are people able to save? And what do you think people should do in terms of saving?
Yeah, I think everyone is on the right track when it comes to saving, because everyone wants to save for a rainy day, or not for a rainy day, but for a car or a house or something. So people want to save, but whether they can save based on their income, I don't know, because everyone's income is different. But I think people are looking to save, and especially with the government encouraging people through the ISA, because the ISA is tax-free, you see.
Yes.
So whatever interest you get is what you will get. There's no tax on it. And the government keeps raising the limit of how much you can save into it. So it is very encouraging. I think a lot of people are doing that at the moment.
So is there anything that the banks are putting in place in terms of saving, advising people? That is, for instance, if you can put your money here for 6 months, there is. Are there any encouraging
Or like
things,
incentives
that they are putting in place?
Yeah, they all comes with the interest on it, isn't it? I know interest rates are very low at the moment.
They are very low
across all the banks, but it's still something. So if you put 100,000, we'll give you £10. No, no, but no, there is incentive. So encouraging people to save. So if you save, you get this. You need to look into the money supermarkets. All the banks are doing different deals on their savings because the banks need the savings, so they're encouraging a lot of savings at the moment.
Because I think people are not really seeing a lot of incentives in terms of savings. That's why probably
at the moment I don't think it's the thing now because there's a time for everything. At the moment I think it's more to do with mortgages. At the moment it's more because mortgage market has gone like that from 2007. You know, with the crash, house prices went like that, but then now it's creeping back but I think the savings era will come back again. So now savings not on, like, the interest rate are low. No one is promoting a lot that they used to, but there is still something there.
So you are saying for now, people are thinking instead of putting my money in the savings, I'd rather invest it in a mortgage.
Basically, because they will get a bit more done. Because obviously, if you invest in the property market's like that at the moment, and savings are very low. So would you save it or invest it?
Because the property market is another topic for discussion.
Yeah.
Because these days, as you are saying, the property market is moving up
a lot,
and this is the best time to get on the ladder.
It's weird because people think it might go down again, but it just literally, especially around in the southeast, property is soaring up, like from last 2 years.
Now, what advice will you give to listeners in terms of banking in general?
What I say basically, I know the banks have got a lot of bad press and things lately, but it's not that bad. Basically, they're just there to do a job, and they are being very, very regulated. No, before though, the regulation wasn't there as it is now. So you need to obviously just open up your heart a little bit and not think, oh, it's a bank, you're gonna. No, it's not really
that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. We need banks. We all need banks. Because if it wasn't a bank, how are you gonna get your salary? You know, and how would you get a loan? How would you get your house? How would you get your car? I think it's a balance. So you need to kind of be a bit open-minded. People need to be a bit open-minded with banks and just give it a chance. Give it a chance. I know when you talk about banks,
yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. Bank, as you're saying, banks doesn't have a good press.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, they're still playing an important role in our society.
100%.
So we have to look at it from the positive perspective as well sometimes to really see that, listen, hey, they are also doing a good job.
Yes.
It's been great having you on the Next Level TV program.
Thank you for having me.
And I think next time you have to come, we talk about the mortgage, because you are now a mortgage advisor, consultant as well. So the mortgage is also a big market that people can invest in, because it's one of the best ways of really investing in today's market, you know. So I've really enjoyed it, and Mr. Charles Osei, who is a banking consultant, coming to grace the Next Level TV program. I've been blessed. I don't know about you. Listen, banking, no matter how you see it, is good for you. What Mr. Charles Osei is saying is that ask the right questions, because every bank delivers different facilities and some are better than others. It's up to you to ask the right questions. It's up to you to do the comparison. It's up to you to look what is best for you. So you have got work to do. Don't leave your work for the banking consultants to do for you. You have also got something to do. I'm really blessed. I have loved it. What I want to tell you is that you're going to have a blessed week. See you next week, Sunday, 5 p.m. prompt, on another powerful discussion. That's what the Next Level is all about. Thank you and have a lovely week.